What's up, YouTube? So I got a question for you guys. Do you think that brown skin and dark skinned women set the dating trend? And what I mean by the dating trend is kind of like low-key deciding which group of men are hot and which group of men are not, and that sort of a thing. And this sort of came about because of the whole P. Diddy and Cassie situation. And some black women, brown skin and dark skinned black women, kind of feeling like, you know light skinned mixed biracial exotical women and some non-black women follow brown skin and dark skinned women's dating patterns and dating interests and sort of play off of them. And I think that there is some truth in that. I don't think it's completely true across the board 100%, but I think it's true when it comes to the women who want to kind of compete with brown skin and dark skin women. And where I'm coming from with that is, you know, I kind of think that in some instances, not all instances, but in some instances, light skinned mixed biracial exotical women and non-black women want to compete with brown skin and dark skin black women because personally I think that they feel like it's an easy win and they love the attention that they get from primarily from brown skin and dark skinned men and even from brown skin and dark skinned women. Big up in them low key, right? On the flip side, I think that some women who kind of follow brown skin and dark skin's dating patterns and interest, a few, um, who engage, well, a few who, you know, you know, consciously or consciously look to brown skin and dark skinned women for the trend. Perhaps want to ingratiate themselves with brown skin and dark skinned women, and try to fit in with brown skin and dark skinned women. I could see that happening on occasions, right? Kind of like, I don't want to say like tragic mulatto, but it's sort of like just trying to kind of fit in, right? And go with the flow and, just stay on trend, and, be with what's hot and what's not, you know? Um, but, notice like a lot of the women who really engage in this activity, especially when it comes to non-black women, are usually bottom shelf non-black women, right? Are usually bottom of the barrel non-black women who really don't have a lot of dating options and probably whose own group of men aren't really checking for her like that, as quiet as it's kept. So they low-key, find their way over to some black women's spaces because we know brown skin and dark skinned men will uplift them just because they're not black, just because they don't remind them of themselves or their mothers who they have mommy issues with. They'll basically get treated like they're something special, like almost like royalty, right? But they won't receive that same treatment within their own community, as quiet as it's kept, because you know, they perhaps are out of shape, have some sort of a weight issue, perhaps kind of have a struggle phase, um, all the things that would make a woman unattractive, right? Perhaps has some sort of a bad reputation, this, that, and the third, right? Um, so I think there is some truth in, black women setting the dating pattern or setting the dating trends for non-black women and non-black adjacent women, right? However, I don't tend to see many top shelf women of any group of women following suit. Think about it, because they're top shelf, so they have like many options, right? So why would they? It's kind of like they have many options, so they wouldn't be so quick to just limit themselves to, say, black men, particularly brown skinned and dark skinned black men. Like, say, Taylor Swift, right? And, whether you consider her top shelf or not, she is considered by and large to be a top shelf black woman, a top shelf white woman, right? Even if she does have like a long dating history, I think she would still be considered top shelf, right? She's, kind of, you know, her fame sort of has waned a little bit, but still, Mila Kunis, right? Scarlett Johansson, right? Katy Perry, right? And Katy Perry, at the beginning of her career, she did date like a mixed biracial dude. So, and she got with an exotical herself, right? And that's usually how it tends to go, right? When it comes to non-black women, usually they'll get with black men, of all shades, but especially brown skin and dark skinned black men on the come up or on the come down, like P Diddy and J Lo, right? Jennifer Lopez, right? Jennifer Lopez got with P Diddy on the come up, right? When she was coming up, right? But once she got up, she's like, I'm through. I'm good. Let me knock this dude gotta kick this dude to the curb. And she hasn't been with a black dude since. As close as it's come, it's like exoticals. like, exotical dudes. But not like a brown skinned, dark skinned black man like P. Diddy. Like, not like a black man with P. Diddy's phenotype, right? J-Lo has been with like, you know, her people, white men, um, exoticals as well. But it seemed like she didn't really come back to the, brown skin and dark skin brothers like that, you know. Um, mm. As far as on the come down, I'll say when it comes to the come down, it could be based on, your looks fading as well as your career fading. I'll put both of those. When it comes to looks fading, I'll say Chelsea Handler and um, 50 Cent. But then again, I don't really think that was like a straight up relationship. I'll say Kirstie Alley, right? When she was at the top of her game, she wasn't checking for no black dudes of any shade. But when she got, fat, out of shape, old in the face, right? Then she want to go sniff around some black dudes, right? And talk about how much she loved Jamie Foxx, right? And then even Oprah set up a kind of like a meet and greet type of situation with Jamie Foxx and Kirstie Alley, right? But yeah, so on the come down, she was like, okay, let me get with a black dude now, right? Since, my looks are fading, my career's, fading, right? Heck, even Elizabeth Taylor has done this, right? When she was alive. When she died, she was with a black man. And that was her, either her husband or her, like, longtime boyfriend, right? But when she was at the top of her game, the it chick in Hollywood, do you think she was being seen with black dudes? Especially in her day. But even still, no, no, nah. So I say all that to say that I do think that black women in certain situations can set the dating trend. Typically, the black, if the non-black and non-black adjacent women want to compete specifically with brown skin and dark skin black women, then yeah, they're going to follow what they do because they want to compete and they want to win, and they feel like that's an easy win for them. And a lot of times these women, because they big up black men, particularly like brown skin and dark skin black men so much, right? They bigging them up that they're kind of making them low-key look attractive to a few other women, you know? Because, you know, think about it. Like, if you were talking about, like, this restaurant that is just so awesome, like, oh, you know, this new restaurant down the block that just opened, like, the food is good, cheap prices. Like, I'm going there. I've been going there for, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you keep saying that over and over, then it's kind of like, other people may be like, maybe I should try that restaurant, you know, right? Um, and that kind of brings me to another point, our subject that I want to talk about: the lack of reciprocity when it comes to brown skinned and dark skinned black men bigging up brown skinned and dark skinned black women. Yeah, and they'll throw them a bone to shut them up, but by and large, the reciprocity is not equivalent, are nearly equivalent, right? And I kind of think that brown skin and dark skinned black men are in a good position to uplift the image of brown skin and dark skinned black women, thus really uplifting their own image, honestly. But since they don't really give a fuck about their own image, they're not going to do that, right? They want to be seen with, you know, the quote unquote trophy, right? You know, they want to go after, quote unquote, the prize and have, you know, win the prize, right? And because these dudes have been so brainwashed, they won't associate that brown skinned, dark skinned woman with a prize, as being a prize or as being a trophy, right? And, you know, that's sort of a good thing in some aspect too, because you don't want to be a trophy, but you do want to kind of be considered like, you know, a catch, you know, a prize, so to speak, you know, in like a positive way, you know, because when it comes to trophies, you know, once you get it, you move on to the next trophy, right? You know, you may show the trophy to company. You may put the trophy in a nice trophy case or put it somewhere in your home or whatever, that so people can see it. But at the end of the day, you've moved on. Another thing that I want to mention before I end this video is some black women, brown skin and dark skin black women, in the comment section, you know, of the Cassie and P. Diddy video that a particular YouTube user posted, were saying like sometimes, you know, non-black women would low-key talk about, oh, you know, look at that black dude over there. You know, doesn't he look good or isn't he attractive? But then when they say, no, not really, they kind of low-key follow suit. And then one woman had said, like, when the non-black woman asked her, well, who's attracted to you? She pointed at like an Italian guy. And then the next thing you know, she was interested in going after the Italian guy over there, right? Low key want to compete with you, all right? Like they want to see you sweat, right? They want to see you sweating them, right? And that's part of the reason why I did that PSA telling you, you know, stop giving these non-black women and these black dudes, especially these brown skin and dark skin black dudes, the satisfaction. Stop big upping them so much if they ain't returning the favor to you, right? You know, stop promoting and advertising them to other groups of women, then complaining about when they get with other groups of women. Isn't that a bit weird? Isn't that a little crazy? Like, why are you advertising them if you don't want them to be with other people, right? But notice they ain't doing that shit for you. They making sure that you are on standby just in case the shit don't work out with the other groups of women. All right. They can't have you being all, you know, uplifted and confident. That doesn't uphold the colorism hierarchy, right? That challenges and threatens the colorism hierarchy, right? When the brown skin, dark skin women stop the big upping, start making themselves open to different options, thus leveling the playing field, you know, taking control of their image, being exclusive, this, that, and the third. right? Challenging the colorism hierarchy. That's why you notice like a lot of people, like everybody and their black mama gotta have an opinion about what a brown skinned and black skinned woman does. Notice that. It's always an opinion or someone giving their 2 cents about some shit. But any other time when a brown skinned and or dark skinned black woman, needs, a little protection, someone to go to bat for them every now and then, where are these same people at? Who seem to care so much about brown skinned and dark skinned black women. Where it's like, oh no, you don't want to interracially date with the fear mongering, right? You're going to get fetishized. You're going to be, just a black whore to them, right? Your biracial offspring, especially your daughter, she's going to replace you, right? She's going to erase you. The fear mongering, right? Meanwhile, these dudes are creating biracial offspring at record rates. Talking about the fear and being replaced, but they making sure they replacing you and ultimately themselves, right? They feel like it ain't affecting them, but them specifically, but low key it starts to affect them too. The effect just is taking place a bit slower, right? But I'm going to bring this video to a close. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.